hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I put together a video of 3 of my favorite coastal tier tray DIYs. For the first one, we're going to do kind of a shore feel, and we're going to be actually DIYing the whole tier tray to make a lobster trap, and then I'm going to show you my DIYs for how I decorated it. But I have lots of coastal ocean themes today for tier trays, and I really hope you enjoy today's video. We're going to take these little frames from the Dollar Tree, 3 of them. We're going to make these into a lobster trap. That's very sure, right? Now, these are the plastic ones. They have wood ones now too, which might work even better. But at the time, all I could find was the plastic ones. So just going to remove the little paper signs from these and see how they're kind of naturally shaped, like the shape of a lobster trap. That's what kind of gave me the idea that this might work for this project. I just need to kind of remove, they have like a little bit of gooey hot glue holding those signs on. And I'm gonna cover these. I don't want that like fancy like cathedral design in my lobster trap. So I'm gonna kind of cover that with popsicle sticks to make that look like boards. But I kind of just want to get this all cleaned up to begin with. So the back of these is plastic as well, and it's black, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to paint everything anyway. I wanted to look like weathered wood, like an old lobster trap. So I'm just mixing a gray. I didn't have any gray, so I'm just mixing black and white together. And I just want, normally I would do like for driftwood, I would do like that like light brown color. But I really wanted this to look weathered, which is one reason why I am doing gray. So I'm just going in with a brush and painting the back of all of these. And again, the lobster trap itself won't have this ornate design, but I do kind of need to paint it anyway to get it started for any areas that you might be able to see behind it. Once I get it on there, then I kind of mix the tan color together by mixing white and brown together, distressing the gray with that. That gives me that wood tone, but gives me that really weathered look, just kind of distressing in one direction to kind of give me a faux wood grain. So that definitely looks like weathered wood. And it doesn't really matter what color of these you get because you're going to be painting them anyway, right? So I just painted all of these gray as well. Kind of have to get in all the little window areas too, which is kind of why I was using a brush on this one. And that's probably the only time-consuming part on painting these. And then just like before, I distress it with just a tan color of acrylic paints mixed together. And those little silicone ice cube trays from the Dollar Tree work great for paints. A little hack there for crafting. And I think that looks pretty good. I did a good job of getting all the insides of those. And again, I told you I wanted to cover up that ornate pattern. I wanted to look like, you know, the boards, like a lobster trap would look. So I am using jumbo popsicle sticks for the board. So I want them to look like distressed wood as well. So I'm going to kind of do the same paint effects on these. And I thought I was going to need like 5 of them for each one of those signs. So I'm just kind of mixing some water with that gray paint because I kind of wanted to do just a very light stain on these. And so it's just a really watery paint because I want that wood grain of the popsicle stick to shine through because these really are made out of wood. So when I follow that up with a baby wipe, you can see that beautiful wood grain come through on the cheap popsicle sticks and really give you that weathered wood feel. So we're going to do that on all 3 sets of 5, so a total of 15 of the jumbo popsicle sticks. I usually get those at Walmart because I don't normally see the really big ones like this at Dollar Tree, but you could do it with the smaller ones as well. Now I'm going to cut like a straight end here on my popsicle stick. And then we can start cutting these down to size. These popsicle sticks are super easy to cut. I do usually like to use like my heavy duty scissors like the KitchenAid. And I'm just going to measure and cut these down to size. And we're going to cover up, you know, that all that crazy area there, make it look like more like a lobster trap would look. And this is kind of straight up and down. So a lot of those pieces are all going to be cut like the same size, straight up like that. Trying to figure out my spacing. I'll need another one at the top. This one, I kind of want to cut off the corner so it goes with that rounded effect of our little lobster trap. And once I put this lobster trap together, it's also going to be a little tier tray for my kitchen. It turned out so cute. It was so fun to make and definitely goes with the shore feel of these DIYs today. This piece was a little tricky to cut down that shape, but I think we pulled it off. And I'm just going to attach these with hot glue onto our little plastic shelf. So we're going to start with this end piece. And I'm going to space them out a little bit like they would be like on a lobster trap. But also it's going to cover up with a lot of that ornate design there behind it, which I really wanted to kind of cover up. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to glue it on all the areas that I can to secure that. And then I think 3 more pieces to fill in the rest of the area. So we're kind of masking that pattern there, but also giving it a new pattern, you know, the board look of a lobster trap. And I did kind of study like what lobster traps look like to kind of come up with plans for this, because this was something that I saw in my mind when I was trying to go to sleep. And I was like, I bet I could use those little cathedral window signs from the Dollar Tree to make a lobster trap. And that is exactly what I did. And I love this DIY. I think it turned out so cute. So I did the same exact thing with the other 2 shelves, gluing that all together. Now we're going to switch to the Dollar Tree wood rulers. You guys know I love to use these. They come 2 to a package at the Dollar Tree, and they're a great strong piece of wood. And once you remove the little plastic stickers on there, you're going to just have plain wood. I wanted something really sturdy to put the structure of this lobster trap together. And these are, you know, 1 foot long. They're going to be the perfect size. And they're made out of real wood, so that's a win-win. And I'm so glad it's back to school season because I've actually been able to find these at the Dollar Tree again. For a while there, I was only finding the plastic, and I always love crafting with these. They do have a hole in the end, and I was worried that that was going to kind of interfere with my design, so I just filled all of the holes in the rulers in with a little bit of Dollar Tree spackle to take care of that issue. I'm going to give them the same kind of like paint and stain effect that we used on our popsicle sticks, because this is going to be like, I'm going to stand the lobster trap up on its side to make it into a tier tray. So these are going to be like the sides and the back pieces. So the first thing I do is just give it a gray wash by mixing gray acrylic paint together with water. And then before it dries, I go over them with a baby wipe. And again, you're going to get that wood grain coming through, which really makes it look like that weathered wood. And you don't have to distress it by doing it that way. That's another reason why I did it that way. So we're going to do the same thing here on all the backs. And as you can see, I'm doing a total of 10 rulers. It's going to be a whole tier tray that we're making today. So it's going to be a pretty nice sized lobster trap in the end. So both sides really need to be stained just in case you're going to be able to see them from the inside and stuff like that as well. And now I'm going to start kind of cutting some of these pieces down to start building this tier tray. I don't want all to be blocked in because, again, I want to use it as a tier tray. So I do want to have one section that is kind of open. So I'm just kind of cutting these down. I measured about how long I needed them to be to go from one shelf to the other one, and then cut down all of the pieces. So I have a total of 8 of these like half pieces here of the ruler. And that is going to, like, 4 is going to be one side of the lobster trap because we're not going to go all the way up on this one. We're only going to go to the second tier. And kind of lining those up in that same board pattern, I'm using a little spacing in between and attaching those to the sides of my cathedral windows with a little bit of hot glue. And I'm doing that little ridge area towards the inside of the tray, so the outside of my lobster trap will be nice and flat like that. And I kind of alternated the ones that had like the holes in them as well to kind of give them just a random board pattern. And now I'm going to put on my second shelf. And I'm lining it up not all the way to the back there, but just kind of to the little wood ridge in the ruler. Now I want this piece to go all the way up to the third row, and it's going to be for structure. This is going to be kind of the right side piece, and I glue that to both shelves as well, but leaving it intact, not cutting this one down. So that's what we have so far for our lobster trap. Now we need to fill in the other side. We're going to do it exactly the same way by doing 4 of the little cut down half rulers. And just gluing those in with a little bit of spacing in between. And again, I do overlap here to the back a little bit, and you'll see why later. It kind of makes it work out better in the end in the design. And then I do another whole ruler here for the left side piece. And this is going to provide structure, which is going to help us keep the top tier, the final part of the lobster trap, in place. So that's what it looks like so far. And now we can start building the back. The back is also going to get the full rulers. And I'm going to do the ridge to the back so that part won't be visible at all. And I just start gluing those to both of those bottom shelves. And just spacing them out with that board pattern, and a total of 4 of the rulers there on the back. And that's why I kind of overlap those, so it would kind of form a perfect corner there in the back. And now this is going to be the top shelf of our little lobster trap tier tray. So I'm going to do some hot glue on these rulers and sit that side down, gluing that piece to the back. And now you can kind of see why I did the full rulers for the 2 front sides for structure, because I need something to attach to the sides of the top shelf here of our little lobster trap. And I left those side panels open like that because now we can go in and put some netting in there to make this look like a real lobster trap. Now, like on a real lobster trap, you would continue that board pattern all along the front, or the top of it, but I want to use that as open shelving. I did use a little tiny nail in each side of these just to help, kind of give me a little bit more support there on the shelves, because that piece is really critical. And I am nailing into plastic. The wood ones might be a little bit more durable, but actually I think this is held up pretty well. Now, this is what I'm going to use for my fishnet. This is one of those little ombre market tote bags from the Dollar Tree. But you can use whatever you have. That rug mat that we used earlier would be great too. I just kind of wanted a smaller scale fishing net. And so I'm just going to kind of cut this market back down. These are some other options. That's like the fishing net they have at the Dollar Tree. I don't really like that because the holes are too big. But then again, that's what we just used. You could also use that because I know these bags are a little hard to find. I love them though. I wish they carried them more. And I don't want any of the pink netting. I only want the ivory netting. So I'm just cutting the straps off, cutting the pink off, and we're going to make this work. Now, a lobster trap has like this netting on the side that they use as part of the trap design, I believe. I don't know. I've never trapped a lobster, but I had a lot of fun putting this together. So I'm going to start by hot gluing this together, kind of piecing it together. It's going to cover about half of it, this little section. And I just keep trimming it down to size and just using a little bit of hot glue. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the other section as well. I'm piecing it together so it'll kind of have an opening there on the side. But I think that's going to be just fine. And part of it's also going to go with the design. So I'm going to cut down another strip of this market bag. And we can start doing the same thing here on the other side. And I was just hot gluing it to the inside just to kind of make it look a little bit cleaner. And then just finishing this one up, gluing it around the structure with an opening there in the middle. And I want to kind of make this look like a lobster trap has like a little hole in the side of it. And I thought these little wood rings from the Dollar Tree would be perfect. And since I already had to kind of piece together my netting, I think that's going to look great. So I just glue that to that netting. And then I actually use that to kind of bring all of my pieces together and kind of finish it up and make it look like a real lobster trap. And I just glue any of the other netting together. And isn't this cute? It's super functional too. I'm going to use it as a tier tray for my kitchen. And it totally looks like a little lobster trap. Isn't that fun? I love it. It's actually held up really well. I still use it from time to time. And if you are looking for like that market pantry bag that I use for the fishing net a lot of times, Target Dollar Spot has been having that this year, and I've actually been picking them up there. But you can use anything that you can find for netting. But I have this perfect area in my kitchen for this tier tray, and let me give you a little look at it. And we're also going to make some DIYs to decorate this with. I wanted to do like a crab lobster theme, of course. And so I found this little white dish with like a little stand at the Dollar Tree. And I thought this would be perfect for a little DIY for this. We could make a little lobster plate to go with our little lobster trap. So perfect. I just used some Dollar Tree red vinyl and I just went on Cricut Design Space and just cut out a little lobster. Super easy. I don't remember if I think this was just a Cricut Design Space. I'll have to see if I have any of these images for you that I use for the tier tray decor. If I do, I will post those in the description below. Just using my paper transfer paper and putting that on there. And now we have a little lobster plate, which is going to be perfect for my kitchen. I thought it needed a little bit more color though. So I'm going to go in with a red paint pen and kind of paint a red edge on this little plate tray. And it's already got a built-in stand. So this is a perfect addition for a little lobster or crab theme here. And I'm going to stand that up on this shelf of our little lobster trap. Then I wanted to do like a little menu board. And so I picked up one of these little tiny easel signs from the Dollar Tree too that has like a little clip on it. I thought that would be perfect for a little menu. And I just designed this on my computer, just something simple. It says catch of the day, fresh lobster, again, like the red and the white. And I just cut that on cardstock or printed it on cardstock and cut that down to size and just clipped that on there. Nothing else to that, but I think it's going to go really well with this little theme. And some of the stuff over here is going to be functional, like red plastic cups and stuff like that, but a lot of it's going to be just decor. I do have a little lobster from the Shore Living line, and then they also have these like little grow creatures in the toy aisle at Dollar Tree. They have like a lobster one, and they have a crab one, so I thought those would be really cute on our design. So we're going to put our little lobster here in front of our little catch of the day sign. And maybe a little red crab over here. It's not a crab trap, but it totally goes with the feel. And then maybe a little lobster trying to get trapped in the trap, going for like the little hole in the side. And I just attach him by kind of stringing him on the netting there. Then this is one of the little jute balls from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. I thought that would go with the nautical shore feel. And we're just going to put that over here, kind of peeking out from behind the little catch of the day sign. And it's not a super big tier tray, but it's fun. Now for the top shelf, I found one of these little red crabs from the Dollar Tree. It's like a little tiny vase. And I thought this would be perfect because we can make this one functional. And it's going to hold like my toothpicks for my kitchen. Just fitting that right inside. And that's going to be perfect for the very top of our lobster trap and the third tier of our little tier tray right on top. And I did paint that with a little matte Mod Podge on a previous DIY to make him not quite so shiny, but he's super cute. Now, this is just a leftover piece of a ruler that I had, and I just cut that down a little bit so we can make just a little menu for that theme for our little lobster. And I'm just using a red paint pen because we're just a little miniature size book and just painting that little tiny piece of the ruler, that bright red color. I love DIYing little miniature stuff like this. I think it's so fun. That's one reason why I love doing tier tray so much. I just use a white paint pen and just draw on the word menu. And that's going to be a perfect little addition there. I'm going to put it in front of our little lobster plate. And that is how it turned out for my kitchen, our little lobster trap tier tray. I think it's really fun. What do you guys think about this DIY?
Getting lost at night, you come like a beacon so bright. You see through the darkness of my lonely heart. Rescue me through all the torrent waves, pulling on my soul like crazy. You're my compass rose, wherever you go, I will go. Won't you save me? 'Cause in your
Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button. It always helps my videos do a little bit better here on YouTube. Okay, coming up next, the next tier tray theme is going to be mermaids. I tried to get really creative on this one and kind of think outside the box of something that would be really beautiful to do with mermaids, and again, using items from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to start with one of these little mermaid Barbies from the toy aisle at Dollar Tree. But don't worry, it's definitely not going to look like this when we're done. We're going to transform it. But it's a great starter piece, I think, because it's got the great mermaid tail already. So we're just going to take off her little outfit. And I want my mermaid to sit like she is like sitting on a rock or something like that, but she's not flexible at the waist, so we're gonna have to modify her a little bit. The first thing that I wanted to do was just kind of tape her little hair We're going to cover that up with something else later, but just to kind of get it out of the way. And then I was trying to figure out how we could make our little mermaid sit. So we're going to kind of mold it, I think. I'm going to use some of this Model Magic from the Dollar Tree in white. And sometimes if I can't find this at the Dollar Tree, I can pick it up at Dollar General, and I think it's even cheaper there. I think it's $1. And I thought we could use this kind of like a clay to kind of fill in the area that would be missing if we were to have her kind of like sit up like that, like I want her to be. So I'm trying to figure out exactly kind of how I want her to be sitting. And then I'm just going to do a little hot glue here on the tip and go ahead and connect the little mermaid tail to her upper half just to get us started. She's going to have like a big gap back there where she kind of like needs the rest of her body. And that's what we'll have to fill in. But first we just need to get the little hot glue to set up. What I want to do is make her into a mermaid sculpture. I really wanted her to look like something ceramic, maybe handmade. And it actually turned out really cool. So I use a little bit more hot glue there in the back to make sure she's pretty good and secure. And then just taking some of that white Model Magic and kind of filling in the area there, kind of wrapping it around her waist, kind of finishing her off like she would look if she was actually sitting there, kind of pulling it all the way around her waist to fill it in. And I really wanted to do like a white ceramic mermaid, and so the white is going to be perfect because we're going to pretty much paint her all over in white and sculpt her a little bit as well. I wanted to do like a lot of white on this one with like a little touches of blue here and there. So I just spread that Model Magic out just as smooth as I can to kind of make the transition look seamless. It's really easy to work with, and it does harden once you let it sit for a while. I'm going to speed mine up a little bit with some heat. Now it's time to paint her. So I'm just using like an ivory chalk paint, and we're just going to go in and start painting her back, her neck, her arms, and I kind of want to do that color all over just to kind of make her look like a little mermaid, a statue, if you will. Now the tail like already has like that great like mermaid scale texture on there, so that's going to take on that color really well. I'm also going to go over her entire face, kind of wiping out all of her makeup and any features that were painted on there. And then it's kind of important to use a brush on this because you're going to want to get in all the little mermaid scales there on her tail to make her all white. I guess she's actually ivory. It's like the color of chalk paint I had, but I think it's going to kind of blend in with the white stuff we're going to use today too. And I am just going over it as much as I need to mask any color or anything that might be showing through. Now, I wanted her to sit in a shell, so I thought I would use one of these little plastic shell, like, I guess, bras from the Dollar Tree in their summer section. I love these because they have like a great texture on them already. I'm going to cover up the holes from the little strings with just a little bit of masking tape. And then I thought that would be the perfect base for her to sit. It is white plastic and I want it to kind of blend in with her. So I'm going over the whole thing with some ivory chalk paint, the same color that I painted her, and getting all that great texture to show up. It's going to make it look painted and a little bit less like plastic too. Now it's time to deal with her hair. I really wasn't sure what to do with her hair. I guess you could leave it blue, but it was in a ponytail and it's kind of crazy like that. And she has a lot of bald spots as well. You know, I guess it is a Dollar Tree Barbie. So we're going to give her a haircut and we're going to create our own little mermaid hair. Just trying to cut off as much of the blue doll hair as I can to give me a good base for the mermaid hair we're going to make. And so we're just going to use that Model Magic again in the white. And I flattened out like a pretty good sized circle of it that I thought would be enough to cover her head and make some cool mermaid hair. I wrap that around the back and kind of squeeze it and pull it to the back to kind of make it look like hair, and just pulling it back down to kind of blend it in with her forehead, kind of giving her some like waves there in the front. And then I just start sculpting it with my fingers, like pinching it here and there, trying to make like waves, but also trying to like stretch it out, kind of making it look like she has like some longer mermaid hair. Now, this Model Magic is really easy to mold, and you can just keep working with it because it is soft until you get it exactly the way you want it. You know, hair can be a little tricky like that, but she's going to have some wild mermaid hair, so just trying to make it as long as I can and as wavy as I can. That kind of looks like hair, right? It's a little hard to see her there on my white mat. Sorry about that. Just making sure I like her hairstyle, and I think that looks pretty good. Now I want her to sit on the little shell. I thought that'd be really cute. I guess you could always do a rock or something like that as well, like a mermaid would be sitting on. I kind of want her to sit off to the side. So we're going to use hot glue and glue our little Barbie mermaid down to the shell. And doesn't she look so much better than before? I really loved this DIY. I really kind of thought outside the box on this one, and I had great results. I'm going to go in and paint her hair now that it's dried a little bit. That same ivory color that we painted her, to kind of make her all blend together. Now, I think she's looking pretty good. This is what she looks like at this point. Our little mermaid on a shell, little statue. The only thing, I wanted her to be glossier to kind of make her look like she was ceramic. Normally, I want things to be matte like that, and you could leave it like that, but I wanted a little bit of gloss. And so I'm going to use the glossy Mod Podge and go all over. I also thought this would help seal the paint and the Model Magic and everything together, kind of seal it, make it harder, make everything kind of like hold up a little bit better. So that's what I did. I just went over the whole thing with the gloss to seal her a little bit. She is one of my favorite DIYs that I've ever made. I think she's so cute. This is how she turned out. Our little siren. She's going to be a great start for this tier tray. We're going to do a 2-tier tray today for this beach tier tray. And the next item, I wanted to bring in like a little bit of blue. So I'm going to use one of these little glass lanterns from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. And I thought this would be the perfect size for a tier tray. It's got like the little mermaid scales all over. I'm going to fill it in with some of these little white stones from the Crafter Square at the Dollar Tree to weigh it down and kind of give me a base to start with for this little DIY. Super easy. Now, you'll notice these are Christmas ornaments. I stock up on these every year. They're Christmas trees, but I think they look like coral, and I love crafting with them. So whenever I see them, I always grab a handful. All you have to do is pop off the trunk, the bottom of the tree. You can do that with scissors, or it's plastic, so it actually kind of pops off, I think, a little bit easier with your fingers. And I'm just looking for some coral to fill up this little lantern, kind of peeking out from the white rocks. And I was afraid they weren't going to stay in place, so I am going to secure it with just a little bit of hot glue down into the little white pebbles. And this was just a really easy little shore living DIY. It's got like a little white fish tied on the front as well. And it's kind of like a floral arrangement. And I know a lot of you guys have stocked up on those little coral trees, as we call them, as well. And so this is a fun little idea for a tier tray too. And this is how it looks. Now, the next item that we're going to use, I don't know if they're going to bring these back again this year. This is from the Shore Living line from last year. It's just the little white rope candle holder. They're kind of cute. I hope they do bring them back. This is going to be so easy. I'm just going to pop in a little Dollar Tree battery-operated tea light candle. And it's white. It's glossy ceramic, just like our little mermaid. So it's going to fit in great on our tier tray. This is another Shore Living bottle. This is kind of like that teal color, which I kind of wanted to go for. It was the same as the mermaid lantern. It's got a little starfish tied on the front. So cute. I'm going to use it just like that. And then the next item, I find these a lot at the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if they're necessarily Shore Living. They're the little mermaid tails, and this is the white glossy one. So I thought it'd be perfect for our theme. They also have these in different colors. If you find a different color, you could paint it. And then this is the Shore Living ceramic starfish, the other one that I was talking about that is already white. So that one is perfect for this tier tray, as is. Okay, I want to make a little mermaid sign. And so I'm going to use another one of those little burlap signs. I love those for tier trays because they're so chunky. I wish I could find them more often. And then some of the glass stickers from the Dollar Tree. This is the Wonder by the Sea, should you ever want to find me, with the mermaid on there. They have some different styles this year too, but my stores still have some of these, of the originals. So I don't know. I think the website still had the original ones too from last year. So I'm not sure if they have all of them or what, but it's a mermaid, so it's going to work, right? I'm going to leave this sign on this one and just cover it up with some of that Dollar Tree removable wallpaper and the white board pattern. That always gives me that coastal nautical feel, and it's easier, I think, than painting and drying a surface, and especially when you want to cover up like words and stuff on there. But I want to use kind of the existing sign on there with that burlap background. Now, I do like to distress mine a little bit to make them look a little bit more hand-painted, kind of break up the roughness of the lines and stuff in between. So I'm just going to paint mine. I'm doing it before I put it on there, but you could totally do it after you apply it as well. And I'm going to Mod Podge it as well, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a glossy feel, because we're doing a lot of white glossy stuff on this little mermaid tier tray. Now I'm just going to peel and stick. I love using this removable wallpaper from the Dollar Tree. I think it's so easy for DIYs like this. And now we have the perfect little sign background for our little glass sticker. It's going to be such an easy sign. I love using these glass stickers because, you know, I hardly ever use them on glass because they're just stickers. You can kind of put them on anything. So I just peel and stick that down right on top. And we have a cute little mermaid sign. Okay, now the next two items are also from Dollar Tree. I thought they kind of looked like seagrass. They have these little clips on them that I don't really need. And so I am just trying to pull those off. And we can kind of use those to decorate the tray. And you might recognize these. These are Easter eggs, actually, that are on sale right now from Easter. But they have some that look like little white pearlescent shells. And so I thought we could do a cute little shell, like an open shell, using the little egg, and then using some of those faux pearl beads from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. We can even have a little pearl inside. Now, I kind of need it to stand up, and so I decided to use like one of these little wood rings from the Dollar Tree just to make an easy little base for the bottom of our seashell. And they're already the perfect color, so this is going to be a really easy DIY. We're just going to hot glue the wood ring to the bottom of the shell. I kind of wish that they were attached, you know, like a shell, you know, because, you know, somehow sometimes Easter eggs are attached where you could open and shut them. That would make it even easier, but that's okay. We will just make our own attachment. It's kind of got a little groove in there that you can fit one right inside the other. And so that's what we're going to do with just a little bit of hot glue. And just sit that right in there. I love, you know, the little shell bras from the Dollar Tree, from like the luau section. These, I'm always looking for a shell that you can use for a DIY. The Shore Living plastic dishes right now that are with their kitchen stuff, those work great as well. Just making sure that my hot glue is set up, and now we can just add a fun little pearl inside. These are so pretty, and I think this is the perfect use for them. So we're just going to glue a little pearl right inside. Super easy DIY, and this is going to go really well with the feel of this tier tray. The next item, we're going to use another one of these little jute balls from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. You'll notice this one's a little smaller. It seems like they've gotten smaller over the years. And then a sand dollar, a starfish, and a seashell, all from the Dollar Tree. The first two are from the Shore Living line. Now, I wanted to make a fun little pennant banner. You guys know I like to do that a lot of times on my tier trays. I think it really decorates one of the tiers. And so I'm going to use some of this Shore Living twine. This is like the brown and white one. And then some of the little Shore Living mermaid clothespins. I thought this would be perfect because I could actually just use the clothespins, right? And just clip that to the twine. How easy is that? Usually I try to pop the little clothespins off these, which can result in broken wood pieces, but this time we're actually going to use them as intended. And I kind of like them, the wood color they already are. Sometimes they're not punched out perfectly, but I think these are pretty good. And I just attach that to the top tier of my 2-tier tray, and we can start putting this together. I think my little coral mermaid vase looks great in the back. It's going to give me a little touch of blue. Our little rope candle can go over here. That's great for the top shelf. There's not a lot of room. And here is our star of the show, our little white mermaid, and some white seashells as well to kind of fill in all kinds of white. I really wanted a very white feel on this one, but with just those punches of blue. A little starfish against the pole looks nice too. Just using a lot of like white bleach seashells. I think I got some of these at Dollar Tree, but some on the beach. And then some of the little white pebbles that we used in the vase to kind of fill it in, to kind of make it look like a rocky shore. And just kind of, you know, raining or scattering those all over and filling up any of the wood. We'll also put one of the little plants up here on top as well, kind of peeking out from the rocks. And I think that looks really cute for the top tier of our little mermaid tier tray. Now on the bottom, we have our little mermaid sign, our little jute ball back here in the back, our little vase that is that perfect pop of teal with a little starfish on there. Our white ceramic starfish is going to be great up against the pole, I think. Our little shell egg that we made with the little pearl inside. Our mermaid tail is going to be perfect for the theme as well. And then we're going to do the same thing we did on the top tier. We're going to fill it in with white bleached seashells. If you don't have any white bleached seashells and you want to get the same kind of vibe, you could always paint your shells from the Dollar Tree white as well. And then filling in all of the rest of the space with those little white pebble rocks from the Dollar Tree to give it that white shore, rocky shore finish. This was a really fun beach tier tray to put together. I really hope you liked it. I really liked being able to use the Barbie doll, something from the Dollar Tree. another plant down there, and then there is our little sand dollar from the shore living line. And maybe another starfish. Okay, here is a quick final reveal, and then I will show you our third and final beach tier tray today.
Floating, weightless, undersea, diving, conscious, like a dream. You and me. Little by little, drowning out.
Hey guys, have you visited my new website yet? It's craftybeach.net. It's going to be your one-stop shop for all of my crafting here on YouTube. What I do is whenever I post a video, I'm going to be making a blog post on here. If you go, you can find the blog post that you're interested in for that video. And if you scroll down, you can find a photo of every DIY I made in that video. So then you can pin it on Pinterest so you can remember to make it. If you scroll down, you should find the corresponding YouTube video to go with the DIY that you're interested in. I just started it at Easter, so I have Easter, I have spring, and I have beach on here. I even have a link to my Amazon shop. And you can find the items I recommend, as well as a link to my Etsy shop for all of my adorable little crafting printable memes. And so there it is, craftybeach.net. Be sure to check it out. It's my brand new website. Okay, for more coastal themed tier trays, next up we're going to do a beach tier tray. Now, this is actually one of my first videos I ever did here on YouTube. But I thought it had some really good ideas. Some of the items they might not have this year with shore living, but a lot of items you can still DIY, so I thought it'd be inspirational. This was the second tier tray that I ever made, one of my very first videos here on YouTube. And so I just kind of laid everything out that I thought might work for a beach tier tray for my kitchen table. And I don't do a very good job of showing you some of the things I don't DIY, but I'll try to show you when we build it. So our first DIY, I'm going to use another one of those little shell bras from the luau section at the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to put both of them together to make a cool little seashell statue. Now, I do need to fill up the holes. And rookie move, I'm kind of using spackling for that. It's a little hard to get it to stay in there. If I were to do it again, I would probably use a little masking tape inside to block off those holes, but I want them to make them look like seashells. They have that great texture on there. And so I just kind of, you could use brown for this. I'm going to use gray because it's what I had there, and just kind of distress all over the white shell to bring out that great texture. Just wiping off the excess with a baby wipe, and look how cool that looks. I want it to look like an old, like real seashell. And we're going to do the same thing on the other one because I'm going to put them like back to back, like you're putting the giant shell back together to make a cute little DIY, perfect size for a tier tray. Now, this is me trying to fill the holes with spackle again from the other side. And you can. It actually works better on the other side because you don't have to worry about sanding off any of the excess. You know what I mean? And now I just want to make a quick little base with some Dollar Tree Jenga blocks. We're just going to glue some together just to make a little base to stand up our seashell. So I glued two together, and then all four just to make a quick little base. You can use kind of whatever you've got, but you need something that's gonna make the little seashell stand up. Now I didn't want it to be raw wood. I kind of wanted it to match my tier tray, which is like that galvanized metal. So I'm just gonna paint it dark gray, just to kind of make it blend in with the tier tray. It's also going to kind of go with the gray that we distressed our seashells with. Now I'm going to do a very fine layer of hot glue all around the outer shell, and then very quickly attach the front of the shell to glue them together. Now if you're not quick enough, you're going to have that happen, but I just go back with a little bit more hot glue until it's secure. And it's like the only time I really made the shells like this. This is a fun DIY because it's just got that really good texture on there, and it looks like an old giant shell. I finally got it all glued shut, and now we can attach it to our little gray base that we made with just some more hot glue, standing it up on its side. Okay, our next DIY is going to be one of these little shore living anchors. They seem to have these every year with the shore living line. They have them again this year. I have a blue one, but I really wanted mine to be this beautiful, like beachy Caribbean blue color. So I'm just going to paint mine. I love these anchors. They're the perfect size for a tier tray, and they have that great wood texture on there that makes them look like they're made out of real wood. So I'm just going to paint mine this pretty color of beachy blue, and it's going to look great on my tier tray. The beach tier tray that I'm making is going to be for my kitchen table, so it's going to be kind of a functional piece, but very decorative, and it's going to be another 3-tier tray, like the first one, my galvanized metal tray. That's basically all we're going to do on this one, is just paint it, make it cute. I was a little worried that my paint on the back was a little sloppy, and you might be able to see it from the other side of the tier tray. So let's go ahead and paint that pretty blue color as well. And I think I called this Caribbean blue, but you know what? I think it's actually the turquoise color. I saved the little hanger that was on there before, and I'm just going to retie it on there. And this is ready to go. Okay, the next DIY, I'm going to use another little shore living sign. This one says, "Relax, the beach fix everything," which I didn't realize that when I started the project because I didn't realize that it was kind of misspelled. So I'm going to use some of this craft wood from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting down a back and 2 sides to make it into a box because I thought we could make it functional. We could make it into a little napkin holder for my tier tray. Now that's when I realized that it says the beach fix everything. I don't know if they're going to have these little ones again this year. Last year they had a different version. This one was from, 2 years ago. The first year that they had the shore living line, at least at my store, I think we had a test store. So I just glue my little wood pieces together to make a little box and glue that on the back of the sign, but it still kind of gives you an idea of something that you can make if you need your tier tray to be on your table and functional. I take my other piece of craft wood and glue that on the bottom, kind of making a box. I noticed that there was a little gap here in front, and so I'm going to kind of fix that with some Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree, just kind of gluing them together to make a little base. And I think that's going to work. Perfect size for napkins. Now I want to paint mine. I'm just using, it's kind of a lake blue color. I wanted to use like a different combination of blue on this. And so we painted those Jenga blocks in the front, that blue color. And then we're also going to go around the sides and the back on that craft wood and paint those blue as well. I also go around like all of the edges, kind of the back, anything that was kind of visible, and give it that same shade of blue. I also distressed the beach right there, And there's the fix everything. I have to do something to fix that. So I decided just to fix it with paint. Ours is just going to say the beach. I think it's going to be fine. So I just painted over the typo with blue paint. But you could kind of still see the writing. So I am going to go over it with a little ivory chalk paint to try to mask that a little bit. Problem solving with a Dollar Tree sign for sure. You gotta watch those Dollar Tree signs. I've had like typos a lot, like St. Patrick's Day misspelled and stuff like that. And you don't notice it until you're like right in the project. But now we're gonna distress all of that blue with some ivory, kind of giving it more of a coastal feel. Kind of making it go with the beach sign, which is fine. And then the little starfish that was on top, I thought we would paint that like more of a royal color of blue. Just to provide another little shade of blue. And we finally have a little beach napkin holder. I think that's going to work. Then I decided that I needed a few polka dots, so just using the end of my paintbrush, I give a little white polka dots to kind of make it match the little starfish that was on the sign. Okay, once it's dry, we can fill this up with napkins, and it is ready to go for the tier tray. The next DIY is super easy. Just a Dollar Tree, a blue and white bucket, and fill it up with seashells that I found at the beach. Can't get any easier than that. You can also use seashells from the Dollar Tree. Now, this is another toy. This is a toy dolphin from the Dollar Tree, and I thought we could paint it, kind of make it look like, you know, a little dolphin sculpture for our tier tray and less like a plastic toy, right? So I'm using that like light blue color, and we're going to paint all over. Whenever you paint plastic, it's going to look a little bit more like a ceramic piece like that. And you're going to get even better coverage if you use chalk paint. I'm just using acrylic, so it is going to take a couple coats to kind of mask the color that was already on there. So I just do like a thin coat of the blue, dry it, go back in there with another one. It is going to require many coats, and then I'm also going to do the same thing here on the little tail. And I think he turned out really cute, just really easy. It's okay if some of that color shines through. It'll kind of make it look distressed. Okay, the next item are these little beach houses from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. I'm just going to kind of change out the little glitter foam stickers that was on there. I thought I could switch those out with some wood pieces from the Shore Living line. Now, they've had these little beach houses the last 2 years with the Shore Living line. Don't know if they have them again this year. Have you guys seen them? Let me know in the comments below. Here, I made a big mistake with them, though. I was trying to get all the adhesive off, and I kind of went a little too hard and kind of caused a little bit of damage there. I kind of wanted to use 2 of them back to back that were different, but since I messed it up, I decided let's just use 2 of the same because I had 2 of the same. They say on beach time they're super cute, and then I'm going to use some of the little starfish clothespins and try my best to pop that off without breaking our cute little starfish. Sometimes a little heat can help that too. I was trying to pry it off and struggling, as you can see, because they glue those things down really well. And then be just super careful if you take the little glitter stickers off yours. I always stock up on these. I think they're a great size for tier trays. This size house, you could kind of do your own thing if you can't find this exact one. But I like the kind of blue on aqua combination of that little blue starfish. I'm just going to hot glue that on. It looks like a way better than what was on there before. I don't know why they use that like cheap glitter sticker. There we go. We're going to do those back to back on the top of a tier tray. And now I wanted to make a beach coastal wood bead garland. And so I'm going to mix up a little water with this beautiful like aqua color. And we're going to start just trying to stain the wood beads to get some blue ones. These are wood beads that I got on Amazon. This was back before Dollar Tree started carrying them. But I'm going to do just a DIY wood bead garland. using just raw wood beads and that little sand dollar that you see there from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree. Once I get them pretty good, I'm going to kind of put mine out on a paper towel to dry. They're very pretty. And I thought a combination of like the blue with the raw wood would look really beachy, right? And it's okay if some of the wood shows through. I'm just trying to give mine a quick dry and we can start stringing these together. Now a sand dollar works great because it's already got little slits in there. So you can just use some twine and tie that off. And that's going to make a great end to the wood bead garland. And then we can start stringing these beads on here. Sometimes I like to use a giant needle on mine, but you totally don't have to. You could always put a little tape on the end or a little hot glue to make it easier to string. We could mix like different colors, different sizes together just to make a little variety and string a simple wood bead garland that we can string around the tier tray. I always love that on a tier tray. It gives a great touch. And this was a fun DIY one. Now, the only thing you got to be really careful is that your paint is dry inside your bead when you do that because it kind of get on some of the other beads. Now we're going to just make a tassel by taking a jute twine from the Dollar Tree, wrapping it around my hand till I get a thick enough little tassel, cut it off, and another little piece that we can tie here at the top to tie it all together. You know, I've been spoiled the last few years at Dollar Tree with all the seasons, like making these little wood bead garlands for you. Definitely a time saver, but they do have some blue ones that are a shorter version of this with the Shore Living line this year that have sand dollars and starfish, I believe, at the end of them. You could always do that as well. That'd be really cute. I'm going to take my needle and string it through my little DIY tassel that we made and tie that off. And we have a little wood bead garland. Okay, it's time to start putting this tier tray together. Again, I kind of forgot to show you some of the items that I used, but I can show you now when I put it together. Here is our little napkin box that we made. Very coastal. I actually had Easter napkins at the time, but we're going to fill that in. Here on the bottom, perfectly functional. A little blue mermaid tail like the white one that I showed you before from the Dollar Tree. And that's one of the items I hadn't showed you. Now this I actually got at the Target Dollar Spot. It's a little Adirondack chair that holds ketchup and mustard from the summer at the Dollar Spot at Target. And it was the perfect size for my salt and pepper. So that's another little Dollar Spot find. A blue whale. I hadn't shown you that either from the Dollar Tree. Similar to the one we used on the first tier tray today. Is going to do a good job finishing off the bottom. Now here is our little seashell that we made. That turned out great and it fits perfectly here, I think, on the second tier. One of the jute balls from the Shore Living line at the Dollar Tree. Again, I think I used that on all of them. And a little blue anchor that we painted. I love it, that color. I'm going to kind of lean mine up against the jute ball. That looks kind of cool together, I think. And then our little blue and white bucket from the Dollar Tree. And all we did was just fill that with the seashells. Here is our DIY wood bead garland that we made. And I did get those wood beads on Amazon. They should be available in my shop below if you want to DIY some yourself. Dollar Tree also has some, but maybe not in these exact sizes. I'm just going to kind of string it along the second tier. It's not super long. Kind of arranging it with what I've already got on there. And again, I think this was my second tier tray I ever made. My first one on my channel was a spring tier tray, and this one was the second one. So my footage is a little different, but we tried to make it work today. I put some double stick tape on the back of my little beach house to go on the top so that I can attach it to the pole in the center of my tier tray without it tipping over, because it's in such a high use area on my table, and it's going to be touched every time somebody wants a napkin, salt and pepper shaker. And I wanted to do back to back on those beach houses, and so that's what we're going to do. And you'll never know they're the same one because they're on opposite sides of the tier tray, right? So I put some double-sided tape on the back of this one too, and sticking it on the other side of the tier tray pole. And we've got just a little bit of room left here on the top. And I found these, like a little greenery pick. I'm just going to use it attached to the pin. And it kind of looks like seagrass over to the side of my house. And then we also DIY'd that little toy dolphin. I think he's going to be really cute up here on top. Kind of jumping off the side maybe. And then I found a little plant from the Dollar Tree with sand in a little jar. I thought that would be really cute up here and really coastal as well. And so let's do one of those on both sides, like little house plants in front of our beach houses. And some of the shore living, a starfish would be really cute at the top as well. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let me show you this final reveal real quick, and then you'll be able to see all the ones we made today.
Diving conscious, like a dream. You and me. Drowning down, like these frozen melodies, and suddenly I only want to feel you breathe.
Okay, you've made it all the way to the final reveal for all three of our coastal themed tier trays today. Hopefully you got some great ideas. Definitely a wide variety with these three tier trays, but they are three of my very favorites, so I wanted to share them with you. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit like, comment your favorite tier tray down in the comments below, and enjoy the final reveal.
I see it in your eyes. Yeah, I can read the signs. You need to get away. It's time we make a change. Oh, you know you'll always have me. Baby, I will always stay with you. So put your trust in me. We'll work it out, you'll see. If we get in a car and drive someplace far, yeah, we could go for a ride. The two of us, we don't have to stop. Baby, let's go for a ride. You and I, let us run away. We can go where we want. I'll have your back if you'll have mine. You and I, you We can stay in hotels, just living off the edge. Only good times ahead. So let me put a smile upon your face. Maybe make your worries go away. So put your trust in me. We'll work it out, you'll see. If we get in a car and drive someplace far, yeah, we could go for a ride. You and I, let us run away. We can go where we want. I'll have your back if you have mine. You and I wanna leave everything behind. If you wanted to, promise you we will be alright. If it's you and I. You and I, let us run away. We can go where we want. I'll have your back if you'll have mine. You and I.
Thank you for making it all the way to the end of today's videos. That always helps my channel a little bit here on YouTube. I also want to give a huge thank you to all of my Crafty Beach Bum members for supporting my channel here on YouTube. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Nancy Wunner, Julie Miller, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Maria Grace, Donna Schreiner, Sandy C., Debbie DeLay, and Ariana's mama. Thank you so much for supporting me here. I really appreciate it. As a small YouTuber, every little bit helps. If you would like to become a member, all you have to do is hit the join button under today's video. It's $4.99 a month. You can cancel anytime, and you're going to get early ad-free access to my videos. Or you can also just subscribe to my channel if you haven't. That would always help as well. If you'd like more beach tier tray DIYs, I have you covered. Here's another video right here. Until next time, happy crafting.